I was talking about it and it came true. I was thinking about it and it happened.
Hey, oh.
Whoa!
We teleported in.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Fine, I'll Watch It. I'm smoking Phat J.
I am Matt Christy.
James Kopp.
This is our Potpourri episode because we're gonna talk a little bit. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit.
There's
over the
a lot of
last
stuff.
Couple weeks.
And,
we were off last week.
We're kind of just killing time till December when everything just starts rolling.
Yeah, when
back
everything comes out. And we'll get to what we're going to be starting. Is it next week already or a couple
No,
weeks?
no, not December. The
Um,
first week of December is when we start going.
So yeah, we're going to be going through just a whole bunch of stuff. We were off last week, and the week before we wrapped up Agatha All Along. James
At least two of us did.
Yes. James Kopp was
Well,
not
well,
with us.
Well, three of us, but Miranda's not here today.
Right.
So
Yeah.
But we're sure that he finished the show
yeah.
and can tell us why he gave that last episode a 5 out of 5. Verse 7, it was 2 out
not
of
just
5.
from you assholes. I've heard from other people that it's really good. I will finish it. I have not watched the last 2 episodes, and the reason why is not because I'm a hater, and I am a hater. The reason why is because I'm old. There's a fucking difference, okay? All right, like I only have so many hours in my day now, the last year or so, and when we get to sundowning, Kopp, fucking, I can't watch anything that I gotta really watch. Okay, I can watch Simpsons, I can watch Mystery Science Theater, and I can watch Three Stooges, but anything more than that, and Grandpa Kopp over here doesn't really make it too far. All right.
Did you not see my schedule of stuff coming out, James?
Oh yeah.
There are literally
no. What do we
there are
got?
3 shows in December that we're going to be doing.
Yeah.
3 of them.
We're gonna probably be pulling doubles on this.
Steven Spielberg presents Star Wars in Skeleton Crew.
Okay.
The one with the kids. Looks like Explorers mixed with a couple other Spielberg.
Star Wars babies, you're making my dreams come true.
That comes.
Star Wars babies, we're gonna
pretty
watch
much
that
it, right
fucking
there.
show.
Hey, first off, I watched Muppet Babies when it was live on air, and if you remember,
Yeah.
because Fox had a deal with CBS at the time, when CBS was the one that aired Muppet Babies, they were showing clips from Star Wars all the fucking time because CBS was the one who released the home video versions and could do that.
They were. They had the whole episode.
Yeah.
One of my favorite memories of being a young person and really setting the stage for how fucked up I am was at California Comics in Bakersfield, California. In my subscription hold comic book slot was the latest issue of Spider-Ham, Muppet Babies, and The Killing Joke. That's what was in my hold at California Comics, and I was really mad because The Killing Joke was $6.50, and that was like all my money.
You couldn't
And
get.
the
you
other
had to
two-
put the
Hey,
Muppet
everybody.
Babies back or what?
Everybody remember the 90s when money was more
Right.
useful?
This actually was the 80s.
Fair enough, the end of the 80s. So yeah, we got the Star Wars: The Skeleton Crews coming out December 3rd. Coming out December 5th, James Gunn starts off his DCU run with the Creature Commandos.
Oh, good for
That's
him.
right.
The animated show. So yeah, we're like in the same week we have 2 shows coming out.
Those will be quite the shows to do with those 2.
Oh yeah.
Because those are going to be starkly different. And then of course we got What If coming out later on.
December 22nd.
So
Yep.
it's going to be a busy, busy month for
All right.
us.
We can talk about some other products in between. We can talk about, if we really want to, the Dune Prophecy. That actually starts Sunday. It doesn't have to be a weekly thing, but
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we'll wrap it up.
and then the one on Amazon, the animated one based off video game stuff, Secret Level.
Oh, I don't know about that
Secret
one.
Level comes out December 10th. I don't know if it's gonna be an all-in-one drop. It's basically like an anthology series of they took different video game properties and then made an animated thing around them. Made by the same people who did Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh. So Captain N? Is it Captain N?
No, no, not like that.
Damn it.
Individual thing. Although Mega Man is involved in one of the projects.
All right. I would like to see
So.
Captain N come back. That'd be cool.
Who wouldn't want to see Captain N come back? That's a wonderful idea.
Nintendo.
That's great.
Nintendo would not like to see.
I don't know about that, man. They go look at
Hey,
those...
money's money. That Mario piece of shit made a lot of money. Nobody gave a shit that it sucked.
Do you know how many people are willing to fork over money for Mother 3? Nintendo will never release that in America.
Mother 3?
Mother 3.
I don't even know what the hell that you're talking about. What
You know
is
the
that?
game Earthbound?
Oh, yeah, okay.
The second game in the Mother trilogy?
That's
yeah,
right.
Mother 3. Mother 3 will never be officially be released
All
in
right.
America. Yet so many people want it. It's brought up every single time.
Well, we have something to look forward to then.
Yes.
Shall we get into some of these trailers, I guess?
Yeah, we should. Well, let's talk about things that have just wrapped up on the good old television.
Yeah, well, we are going to talk about
That
those,
isn't
actually.
specifically Agatha.
So, first of all, I have not finished this, but you have. Let's talk about Vox Machina.
Season 3 of Vox Machina. Officially, it goes up to the end, or when they defeat Rayshawn. That is the official ending for season 3. For those of you who know the overall story, James, I know you don't know much about anything at all.
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know that.
It's a D&D adjacent.
I don't even know what's going on.
It's a D&D adjacent property made by the.
I'm gonna drink over here.
Look at the pretty images on the screen. That way.
Oh man, was that a dragon?
Yes, it was a dragon. This is the season where they defeat all the rest of the dragons, James.
Oh, there's more than one dragon.
More
than
That's
one.
great.
So, because you don't know, James, this is the animated version of the Critical Role campaign. Critical Role being one of the most famous YouTube streamers of Dungeons and Dragons.
With all the voice actors.
Yep, all the voice actors. And this is the third season. The first 2 seasons, we talked about them a couple times. I know I talked about them. You talked about them.
You did your whole thing with Uncle, your former partner.
Yes, with Lacey.
Lacey,
Yes. We
Lacey.
talked about it a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I started watching it. Honestly, I haven't finished only because there's been so much shit to watch right now and get through. But this is an excellent show, so I'm really looking forward to finishing out. And you said it finished strong?
All right.
It finishes on the part where they defeat Rayshawn.
Okay, I understand that. But did it finish strong? Was it good?
Yes, it was good.
Okay.
Did it finish strong? I don't know if it finished strong because
It's
it basically what it did was it set up that they could, if they weren't doing a 4th season, end it with there being some lingering threat in the background. But like the actual episode ends where they all separate, and like, okay, you could officially end it there if you really wanted to. But then our post trailers or post credit scene is we're setting up for what season 4 will have based upon the rest of the campaign.
Okay.
And they made some change. You saw the changes with Pike's battle with what's his name in the hell.
Actually,
you didn't get that far
I
yet?
think I only made it to episode 3, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm only like 3 episodes in.
Okay. Well, they changed that, and that was actually better than what they did on the actual campaign originally. So, because they put more backstory into everybody and actually pulled from their current campaign as well for the history. Because those of you who are watching Critical Role at all know that they've of late have been bringing back the Vox Machina characters into the 3rd campaign.
Right. James, I highly recommend this show. I would definitely give the first few episodes a try. It's crass, it's violent, it's very much, you know what I mean, D&D characters you've played with your friends before type of a thing.
Yeah.
But it's well animated. Again, they shore up backstory, you know, to make it not, you know, so game table-y, and like I say, the animation.
Although the few game table stuff they do have is hilarious.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
True.
Which they
work it in just right.
based off things that actually happened during their sessions.
Right.
So
That's wonderful.
all
right.
And if you really want to feel the awkward, start watching the original campaign, because there's a character who got excised completely because he got excised completely from Critical Role himself because of his behavior and
Oh.
everything that he was doing.
Yeah,
So-
that is funny. I didn't think about that. All right.
Yeah, that was a big controversial
That
thing.
happens.
It does happen. All right, let me switch to this other one.
All right. Bye, Jared. Jared just threw his mic pack with him as well, in case that you heard. But no, it's a fun. It is 3 seasons. It's 12 episodes per season. They're about half an hour each episode. So, again, we know you have all this time you don't have to watch shows, James. Yet all these shows coming up that you'd have to watch for the sake of this show. So,
Oh man.
Let's get to the next one. The Penguin.
The Penguin.
Another one you have not
Everybody
watched.
fucking loves the Penguin.
All right, so The Penguin is a character study series. Taking, obviously, the character of the Penguin from the newest Batman property movie. It picks up exactly after the end of the movie.
Which is great. I love that shit. Like, I'm such a sucker for that.
Yeah.
So,
I haven't watched the Penguin at all because at no point in my life did I say, "Hey, they should do a Penguin series." I would watch the shit out of that. Not once
and
in my life have I ever fucking thought. And so, but here we are, and money is money, and that doesn't mean we can't have good content in the need for money.
And
so,
let me tell you something. I felt the same way. I gave 0 shits about this because I really didn't care for the Batman movie at all
It's
in
all
the
right.
first place.
It's all right.
It was okay. It was too dark. It was. I've tried to rewatch it, and it's almost unwatchable because you can't even fucking see it. And it's too.
What was
long,
funny
but-
was I watched that the Batman or what was that what
Yeah,
it
that
was
was
fucking
called
called?
Batman.
The
Yes,
Batman. I watched the Batman, and then just like for whatever reason, like a week later, I watched Batman Returns, and I was like, man,
Yeah.
like maybe Tim Burton ain't that bad. Like it's just like because it was like the Batman was so hard to see anything.
Yep.
Like I know they were going for the gritty grind sort of stuff, but it doesn't matter if we just can't make anything out. If everything looks like fucking white noise and fuzz.
Yeah, that was my
And
biggest
so-
problem with it. And I did like Colin Farrell as the Penguin in that movie. I thought
Yeah.
he did a great job.
Everybody was good. Everybody
Yep.
was interesting. Like it wasn't a bad film. I think my older brother had the joke of saying it was like they made one of those video games, the Batman Gotham
Oh,
games,
yeah,
into a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's just what it felt like. And hey, that works.
Yeah.
Do that.
Look at that being said, I just finished. I watched the first episode of this the day it came out, and I was like, "Oh, this is very interesting. Like, this is something I definitely want to watch." But I didn't really get around to finishing it until this last week. Excellent. This show is excellent. This show is nothing anybody, including myself, asked for, and it is so much better than it fucking deserves to be.
All right.
Everybody in this is amazing. The lady who plays Sophia, is
Christina Milshock.
is amazing. The kid is amazing. Like, it's the Sopranos
his
in
mom- his
fucking
mom.
Batman.
His mom's
His
amazing.
mom, yeah, the lady that plays his mom, both young and old. And what I loved about it is they give him a little bit of a sympathetic character arc, but he's never a good guy. He's never a good guy.
No.
He's the
Yeah.
bad guy, and he's the real fucking bad guy.
All right, I'm going to throw this out there. Possible spoilers coming for what we're going to talk about here real briefly.
Sure.
Because the series literally just ended this past Sunday. So
Mhm.
it's very recent in terms of how it all is and everything like that. So obviously from The Batman, they killed one of the 2 major gangsters.
Right.
Which is like, that's the first time that's really been done, that they've actually taken out one of these 2 rival gangster factions, or at least the leader of it, that has been in the comics for forever. They just are a thing that continues on.
Right.
This show makes the decision that we're going to take out everyone in that now. So now going forward to the
I'm for that. I'm for like because they represent the Gotham of the past. Anytime we get a gangster mobster, it's like that's the Gotham of the past, the Gotham we know, and we should be up to speed on it. We don't need 8 movies to get there.
Right.
It should be not the part of
Fantastical.
the city's. Yeah, it should be more. It should be run by different supervillains, not by mobster
Yep.
heads.
He
You
put
know,
the,
and
he
I know
put the
that sounds
bat,
weird, but
he put the bat suit on, and that made everybody else start fucking having to do crazy shit.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
So,
Yeah.
so at the end of this, we have no Falcones, we have no Maronis anymore. In this
All
Batman
right.
universe, we will not have any of that, and we will also not have any of the major heads of any of the other smaller crime families.
No.
So that
Basically, spoilers, Penguin is the crime boss of the city now.
yeah.
At the end.
As it should be,
yes,
as
as
it fucking like
yeah.
that's got the
He is
comics.
so,
Like
they make him so much where it's like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like he's the baddest motherfucker out there.
but
You know what I mean?
that's how you make a good Penguin story.
Yeah.
Like if he is the banker villain, which that can be as fun or as dumb as you want to make it, right? If he's the trust fund villain, I'm going to get at Batman and Bruce Wayne and all these people by their pocketbook. Yeah, go gangster. And with that, and like, how gangster do you want to go with it?
Well,
And
that's a
it's
difference
with
too.
the
is
Batman
they don't
trying to
play
be
him
great.
as the silver spoon in his mouth kid. He comes from
bottom. He comes from the
the
bottom.
bottom.
He literally
He
comes from the
works
bottom.
his way up from
Yeah.
the fucking bottom, works into the mob families, and then he works it so he fucking takes over. He's playing both sides. He's flying by the seat of his pants a lot of times, and then you see the motivation behind it and just the backstory of who he is and how he is, and you know those I don't want to spoil because there's some really great turns in this where you're just like, holy shit.
I'm gonna watch it just because everybody says how great
definitely.
it is. Yeah.
I definitely think this is one that you will very much
This
appreciate.
show, I mean, it's manipulative in the fact that because it's a series called The Penguin, and that's what they're putting out there a lot, that they make us as an audience kind of root for him, kind of want him somehow succeed, come out on top, and everything else like that. And then it does such a great job at the end of making us realize we were for the wrong person the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, Agatha, because they kept her as a villain more or less. They're like neutral
But,
going on evil, but this guy is more than that.
Yeah. Well, you know me. I want my villains to be villains. Like I understand sympathetic and stuff like that, and I'm all for that. But I still want my villains to be villains. You know, it's like
You will not be disappointed.
No.
You will
the
not be
Penguin is a villain.
that's great. That's good to hear. You know, and it's like the Shrekness of the world has always scared me. Of like after Shrek, it was like, damn it, like because it's such a good film that like, oh, now every villain should just know actually they're a great human. They're the best human.
Marvel.
And it's like, no, actually, most villains are shitheads and horrible monsters. And I was like, and I don't think you should go away from that. I think you should lean into that. So there's still humanity in there.
This show somehow pulls off both. That he thinks he is the greatest thing, but at the same time, in reality, he is the absolute worst thing.
Right. And to some, he is the greatest thing, though.
Yeah,
he makes it out to where there's a certain group of people who are definitely,
Question for Jared. I heard that the Penguin leads up to the Court of Owls.
Well, Batman 2 is supposed to be Court of Owls. I don't know how Penguin's gonna quite fit into it, you know what I mean? But
okay.
But he might even be the one that introduces us into it. It seems like because he seems to be. It seems to lead up at the end that he's going to be hobnobbing with the bigwigs of Gotham now. Like he's at least the city thinks that he's legitimized himself a bit with the
Right.
with the connections they ended up making at the end.
Yeah, but this.
Yeah, people have. So yeah, Agatha all along and fucking the Penguin. Everybody's loved it. So
And
yeah.
for two completely different reasons, as it should be. But
Penguin's better than Agatha.
Penguin's better written.
Okay.
Penguin's better written overall.
Better
Penguin's
written than
better
Agatha,
acted
yeah.
overall. But also, I mean, also has more time to develop on those things and everything like that. And it demands it more of the actors because of how serious this is. That they need to act it better than Agatha.
and it's-
Agatha, I love,
Yeah.
but it
Yeah,
being
yeah.
more of a lighthearted view with Agatha still being an evil character, but not like full
Yeah,
blown
this
evil.
is hard R. Like
Mhm.
they're saying
Yeah,
fuck
okay.
every other sentence, and this is
Right.
not even the Batman. Like this is way more. I mean, it's the Sopranos in the Batman universe, really. And the stakes are high. The stakes are high every episode too. It's not like here's this kind of. You do get some flashback episodes, but they mean a lot.
One episode is
More.
mostly purely flashback, and then there's some flashback.
Two.
There's some no. I'm saying just for the entire episode,
Mm-hmm.
but it's necessary. And then there's flashback parts of the Penguin as well,
Right.
which are necessary, but it didn't deserve a whole episode, which is correct. It did not.
No.
But this
But
other
the way
character-
it was told was very excellent. Again, you get really big character reveals in those from three different characters. You know what I mean? You get big Sophia reveals, you get big Penguin reveals, we get big Penguin's mom reveals. And even in that one too, you get big of the kid, Vic.
Vic, yeah.
Yeah, Vic.
Well, Vic kind of has his own kind
Yeah.
of back episode, but just to let you know what he came from, how he got to where he's at.
Mm-hmm.
And also you get you get Falcone having a complete actor swap.
Yeah.
As they brought in
And
Mark
a big
Strong.
time actor too.
Like
'cause
Mark
it's-
Strong.
Yeah, Mark Strong. It was originally played by what's his name?
God damn it, I had it earlier.
The
John Turturro.
John Turturro, yeah.
Yeah.
Played him, and then Mark Strong, and he looks good.
Yeah.
He looks like a younger version of him too.
Mhm.
It's very good. Very good. All right, so
And then you get
Highly
and at the end of the series, you do get tie-ins for the second movie, or
Okay.
like things that should lead into the second movie.
mhm.
All right.
But here's the interesting thing that's going to happen when people go into Batman 2. There won't like I said, there will not be the large crime families anymore.
Mhm.
So it'll be interesting to see what they do to explain that for anybody who hasn't watched The Penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the Batman movies being PG-13, this being TVMA, like as hard as it can be,
Okay.
it'll be interesting to see what they do to have into it, and if they bring characters like Sophia into it.
Yeah.
They're going to have to be some sort of explainer as to who she is and why she's in this all of a sudden. But
Yeah, we'll see.
so,
Well, we would fucking hope so.
we would, but it's one of those dangers that if you try to put a TV series in between two movies that
Yeah,
have a
who
lot of the
watched it?
information going to that second movie. So
Well,
what do
with
you
all
do?
the hype on this, I feel like you can bank on that a lot of people who are into this universe probably watch this. Because so
Yeah.
many people like me who don't really give a shit about this universe watch this. I can only imagine everybody who did watched it. All right, well, let's move on to what is up and coming because we had a
couple big things.
yeah,
drop.
we did. First of all, though, we had this big Marvel 2025
look ahead.
look ahead type of a thing, if you want to switch over to that. And it was
Deadpool. Looking ahead.
yeah, obviously Deadpool that came out today?
Yeah,
right?
well, this thing released a week before Deadpool and Wolverine came to Disney Plus,
Right.
which was 2 days ago, 12th
Okay.
on Tuesday. So,
But we get a lot of trailers, and we'll go more in depth with a couple of these Daredevil and stuff. But we do get trailers for a couple other little shows, like this Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man show, which is going to take place what
It's
in
his
an alternate universe.
yes, in yet another universe from
Okay.
everything they've done so far, of him being in high school.
We get some Iron Heart footage, which I think we talked a little bit about this trailer before, but that
Yeah.
suit looks great. Suit looks great for a TV show, especially those.
We'll talk more about this in a
Yeah,
minute.
we'll talk a little bit more about this. We do have the Marvel Zombies.
Your favorite, James, Marvel
Uh,
Zombies.
Right. But that's going to take place in an alternate of what we saw with the What If. It's going to
Yeah.
be just a whole universe. Wonder Man we'll talk a little bit more about here in a minute too. And what was the other one that's on here? The Wakanda one, I think we
Yes, the
mentioned
Eyes of
before.
Wakanda,
Eyes of Wakanda, which is another animated
right there.
series right here,
But that-
which
That's
I really like.
That's a
animation.
limited one.
It is. It's just a limited run. A lot of good a lot of good writers apparently worked on that Eyes of Wakanda cartoon series. I think it was a different one for every episode, right?
I believe
Different
so.
writer.
Yeah. Because it was definitely a collaboration thing, and it was just like I mean, with the supposed news right now that Denzel Washington more or less confirmed,
He's got a part.
there's going to be a Black Panther 3. Or I don't know if it's more just his wishful thinking or something that actually he knows is going to take place.
Well, he said Ryan Coogler is writing him a part in it.
Yes,
Is what he said.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
but Blade was also supposed to release like 2 years ago. So,
Yeah.
so we'll see what does and doesn't happen going forward. But this is something they just wanted to keep the whole Wakanda thing going. So they made a little 4-episode series focusing on characters and the world of Wakanda and everything. So
Yep. So what? Any of those strike you as something that you're interested in there, James? Ironheart.
I mean,
or-
I would love good Marvel content. That's what I want. So hopefully one of these is fucking worth watching. You never know. I love Sam Raimi. I like Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange 2, no good. It's no good. So I don't. You never know until we kind of get to it and see what they got. Marvel Zombies was always kind of a hard sell. Wonder Man is a little upsetting that it took us this long to get to, because
Well, let's
Wonder
get
Man
to
was
that. Put that
always
Wonder Man full trailer up there next.
because Wonder Man is a Hollywood actor. It's like it plays so well into making a meta movie film about this person, and I thought they would have done Wonder Man right after Guardians of the Galaxy. It did well,
well,
because like you got the humor, you got this. I was like, you're gonna do Wonder Man probably next.
it was there. They had
Yeah.
hints of it set up that
Now, Nathan Fillion was actually shot.
Who would be a
Yeah.
great fucking Wonder Man? Like, so whoever this person is, they'll be great too.
Well,
but
this
it's
guy
like,
right here,
whoever this guy is.
whoever this guy's, this is the guy that played Dr. Manhattan in the
Yep.
Watchmen
Ah.
television show,
Yeah.
and he was also Black
Black
Manta
Manta.
in Aquaman. He's
Both
a
Aquaman
fantastic actor, so I think that they picked a great actor for this. I really love the suits and everything. I'm curious, like we see him. I'm assuming that's him flying there at the end, or it could be.
And-
It's purple though. It could be his brother, because apparently.
and
Grim
and
Reaper's
viewer, do not be misinformed. Wonder Man sucks, and Wonder Man's stories suck. However, Wonder Man as a character is a great opportunity to do some really great, interesting films.
Yeah, I agree.
Because and so there's huge potential there. It's like Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't care what everybody tries to pull that 2008 shit down your throat. The Guardians of the Galaxy comics sucked. And by the way, drink, because we're bringing that up. But taking the good and then changing the stuff that doesn't work, can totally be there. And so Wonder
Yeah,
Man
there's powers.
hopefully will be really cool.
Yeah, if it's the powers, there's interesting stuff going on though, because you see that's that wall like from Shang-Chi that you see in there. Obviously, Trevor Slattery or whatever.
Trevor still has his little buddy.
And
with
he's
him
got
too,
a little buddy from whatever.
from Shang-Chi as well. Yeah.
Shang-Chi. But I'm curious to see what it is, because it seems like he doesn't start with his powers. So maybe some sort of a thing
Jerk off origin stories.
Yeah.
God damn it, man.
It's TV, so I mean,
I get
It
it.
could all be special effects on the TV show too.
true.
Like
Yep.
it would be interesting if, they're just trying
That's
to
funny,
make
that-
a
oh.
television show about superheroes in a world where there's real superheroes, and does anybody give a fuck?
What's funny is you are describing the 1990s 4-part miniseries Wonder Man comic, which starts with a great big action sequence of Wonder Man, and it turns out it's a movie that they're filming. So you literally are pitching a plot that that the writers of Wonder Man pitched to us. So yeah,
Given the history of both television and the movies, I'm pretty sure they pulled directly from that series.
Yeah, I'm guessing too.
Yeah.
Because
it was a good series. It was a fucking good series. So do it. Like don't shy away from the writers, the good writers that have given you good shit.
what is after Fantastic Four this year?
That's it this year.
No, I thought there was.
Fantastic
I
Four's
thought there
the
was.
last
I thought there was 4.
Movies? No, there's only 3 movies. There's
Is Fantastic Four coming out?
Fantastic
in
Four's
August.
coming out in August.
Or no,
this year.
July.
You have
It's July.
Okay,
You-
2025, right?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. We have.
I've been drinking
what's
for
the
a
2
minute.
movies?
So coming up in February, we'll talk about it here in 2.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Break.
Let's go to the next. Let's go to the next one, because this one is something I'm very interested in, and this is the Daredevil Born Again.
Hey, this is going to give us weeks of content because it's like supposed to be 18 episodes or something like that.
Well, it was
Ah.
before they rewrote it, right? I don't know.
I as far as I knew, it's still supposed to be long, like Netflix style long in terms of the series.
Well, look, it looks like they're bringing all the best stuff from the Netflix in. I also saw today that they are, that they literally are bringing everybody back, and they will reference everybody in this. Luke Cage and all those that, it may
That's
not be
wonderful.
the exact same universe, but most of the shit will have happened the way that it did in the series, which, that's great. Fold that in. Those were highly,
That's Kamala
rated.
Kamala's
And
dad
we
as
brought
well.
in Kamala Khan's dad for
Which
some
is-
reason.
which is
That's
the
the guy
interesting
we
choice.
decided from that show.
Matt Murdock's defending him against child pornography
I
charges.
guess so, yeah. I guess so. Maybe he beat the charge, man. Maybe that's.
they're gonna bring in King as well.
You get to see Punisher in there. I mean, I started watching that after I saw this trailer. I started watching that Punisher show again, which it's not the greatest of the Netflix shows, but
It's better
it's
than
still it's still pretty fucking great
still no Iron
compared
Fist.
to a lot of Marvel shows. So
There's like 2 or 3 of the Netflix series of the Deadpool or the
Daredevils.
Daredevil episodes that are still a couple of my favorite episodes that of Marvel TV we've seen. Period.
Oh yeah,
Which is like definitely the Stick episode from season 1, and then the Punisher Daredevil rooftop episode of season 2 of Daredevil
wonderful.
came out the same week as Batman v Superman.
Drink.
And
No, there's
Batman
been like
v
4 things to drink
Superman.
about right now.
Yeah.
and Batman v Superman is fucking terrible. And Daredevil and Punisher on a rooftop for an episode of like an hour long where no action happens whatsoever. Just 2 fucking kind of heroes, anti-heroes
Stuck on a roof.
on a roof talking out the moral implications of comics and the whole superhero genre versus vigilante justice. And it is a smarter, more interesting, more serious, better acted, everything than Batman v Superman. It was so depressing.
I agree.
Well,
To go watch Batman v Superman and have them go, Martha,
Yeah.
Martha's the reason why I shouldn't kill. Is like, and then cut to 2 very strong actors reading a script that is way smarter than it needs to be to get across that exact same message without having to resort to fucking Martha is the name of my mama.
well,
Is Jesus.
in both this and the 2025 look ahead trailer and things that we've seen before, they're leaning heavy on the Kingpin Murdoch scene in the diner.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
It's like, and that's no fight's going to take place in that scene. We know that no fight is going to take place in that scene.
I want to go back to the Netflix shows that I just think, Jessica Jones, and I don't think it's talked about enough. But that first season of Jessica Jones is such a
fucking
brilliant
bad.
fucking premise, and I know it was taken from the comic books, but that was a smart one to take. I mean, you've got a PTSD, you've got a villain that is so fucking interesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To that, he.
And she, that actor that played Jessica Jones, she's decent, man. Like I know she's a looker, but she actually has some talent. Like she did a great job in it. I don't know. Like it's like I don't even give it. Jessica Jones' first appearance was in like 2001. I don't even give a shit about Jessica Jones, but it was like the show was pretty decent. It was none of the Netflix shows were that bad.
No.
Iron Fist.
Yeah,
Iron Fist
was
Iron Fist
was
had. Colleen Wing was good, and she was the one. She was the character that they should have just made Iron Fist in there.
You know what, Iron
But apparently,
Fist,
dude
when you Iron
has
Fist,
been training
Iron Fist,
this
when you
time.
look in the mirror, Iron Fist, you are not Secret Invasion.
Iron Fist.
You are not Secret Invasion.
No.
You're not Secret Invasion.
You are the Secret Invasion of the Netflix universe, but you're not Secret Invasion. Period.
Iron Fist is the show
of the entire world.
Iron Fist is a show that has Ike Perlmutter's hands all over it. It's disgusting, and you know what? We haven't brought him up since Agatha started. We got to start bringing back Dan Schneider.
Yeah,
Every time I watch Iron Fist, all I hear is "Song of the South" in my head. Where it's like kind of like something that exists that nobody wants to talk about.
Yeah, agreed.
Like the storyline for that was like the worst storyline they could make for that character, and like
whatever.
What do we got next on the list here?
Luke Cage show wasn't bad. The Luke Cage show made me mad because their trailers sometimes were better than a couple of their episodes. Like,
can you help me with this?
But Luke Cage, their first season was better than the second season too.
Yeah.
So, all right, here we go, James.
So the Thunderbolts * trailer. God damn it, this got me excited. I just have to say, like, the dynamics with them is fun. It feels very Guardians of the Galaxy, but on Earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Great.
And badass. Like, this Bucky scene is fucking badass. You know what I mean? He comes in, and the fact that Red Guardian is like, he's so cool. It just makes sense because he was like the Russian hero too, It's just this is gonna be fun. We get the reveal that Valentina bought Avengers Tower
finally. After years of wondering what happened to it.
I'm pretty excited for this movie. I don't know what it's gonna be in the end, and we can speculate on that for sure. But
I think you're right in terms of this is going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy type movie.
But what's the asterisk mean?
The asterisk means that it may not be titled Thunderbolts.
In the end, it's going to be Dark Avengers?
Something.
Like...
Because it's brought up in this trailer.
Because he wants it to be Thunderbolts, right? But...
Yeah. No, David Harbour loves the Thunderbolts idea. Bucky, not so much.
I hate Thunderbolts, so it's fine. I'm not excited about this at all, but I also, again, drink Guardians of the Galaxy. When they announced they were doing Guardians of the Galaxy, I laughed out loud because I was like, Spider-Ham still in the mix. Like, if you're going to pick piles of shit, like the Guardians of the Galaxy, Spider-Ham might make it to the big screen.
Spider-Ham
He
did.
did.
Make it
Well, technically he did.
He technically did in his own way, and I like how I accept that Spider-Ham outcome. But yeah.
I mean, technically, yes, Spider-Ham was in the second Spider-Verse movie, but
not much.
But he'll be in the third one, so there'll be more as second.
I was shocked how much I liked the Spider-Verse movie, but also Spider-Ham coming to the big screen in that way. Yeah.
We get Bob Sentry too in here.
Which should be this right here is going to be the most interesting thing.
Yeah.
if he is Sentry,
Okay.
what are you doing in this movie? Because obviously the Thunderbolts are the least powered group that they could possibly have. So in a sense, it seems more like it's a Suicide Squad type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But this was being set up further just as an anti-Avengers because of optics and everything else like that Valentina is all high up on, as we've seen her little bits in the movies that she's been in TV series. But Sentry, being a Superman-like character in Marvel, what do you do with him in this?
Well, he's a Superman character, but he's also got his whatever alter ego that's like the super bad guy too. I think at the end of this movie, you probably have him turn bad and be a further threat. You know what I mean? That comes about later, because it will be weird, just like the first Suicide Squad movie was. They had a bunch of people who had no business fighting against the powerful character that they had, especially when you got Superman, fucking Wonder Woman, all these other people in it. Yeah. I always said, from that, you should have had their whole thing just be going to get Waller out. And all the big bad guys were being fought by Superman and Wonder Woman in the background the whole time. And they're infiltrating all the, you know what I mean? Then it would have gave them a reason to be doing something. And then you just end up putting against these fucking gods at the end, and it's like, and Harley hits him with a fucking bat and you guys win? Like,
that would be, by the way, what you're pitching right now is such a funny concept. I love the concept of like, we follow our lead character and then like it cuts away to like an epic shot of like, today we die and I will kill everybody you ever loved, and then we come back to just our characters.
It's one of my
running
favorite stories from Justice League Unlimited is the Booster Gold episode where everybody, including Plastic Man, is fighting the big bad, and they keep cutting to them fighting this big bad, and the whole time Booster Gold has to save this fucking scientist that's going to destroy the universe, but no one fucking knows what's going on with him. But it's a thing that Booster Gold can handle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we just get these teases. I think that's a brilliant concept. That's what they should have done with the first Suicide Squad movie instead.
See, and the thing with the first Suicide Squad movie is I don't know how much of David Ayer we can believe in terms of what he says they cut and changed from what he wanted and everything like that. But comparing the two Suicide Squad movies, like you set up this premise that this group from the, obviously taken from the comics, this group it was set up by Waller as a deterrence to the superheroes, as this group that could take them on and save people as necessary from that possible threat. And what do you have them fight in this movie? In the original movie, you have them fight this extra dimensional threat who's a bad guy, not a good guy coming in. So why are they involved? As Jared said, why, as opposed to the actual Justice League or somebody who would make more sense for this thing. In James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, you do have an extra dimensional threat, but it's of such a nature that it's not necessarily considered world ending, despite the fact for those who know Starro know, it potentially is world ending, but it's like not something that would necessarily be on the Justice League's radar.
It also breaks out, and there's not even time for the Justice League to get there.
Yeah.
Before it's handled.
James Gunn does a very good job of like, this might be something where just governments knew about it. Like it's an alien thing that we've got wrapped up in fucking Mexico somewhere, you know?
Yeah.
And so, I didn't see the first Suicide Squad movie.
Good for you.
Because I don't like that director-writer, and as soon as I saw Harley Quinn in a ripped shirt and panties, Harley Quinn's already sexualized. We don't need to like comically sexualize. Like I don't know if she was just constantly washing a car like the entire time, but it was kind of like I just didn't need to see that pile of shit. Like as soon as I saw the first trailer, I was like, I don't need to see you ever.
And she's handled so much better in the next movie.
Yeah.
Like she is.
I really liked James Gunn's, and I thought it's not as good as the Guardians of the Galaxy, but it was still a really solid sort of film, and it told a very, very simple Suicide Squad story
But it,
about how even the rats can help save the day.
and it,
You
and
know,
it
it's
uses
like
the characters so
everything
much
has a
better.
yeah. It's just like everything has its purpose and its place, and even if you are the villain, you do have a purpose in place, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're worthless or you should be eliminated from society, which is the whole point of kind of the Suicide Squad. So I enjoyed that one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
didn't see the one.
I think I'm gonna really enjoy the Thunderbolts. I'm really excited for this movie. You know, I didn't hate. I liked the Black Widow movie for the most part. It just felt like it came at a really odd time.
It was a victim of everything that was going on
Yeah.
at Marvel and the pandemic and just
Yep,
everything.
definitely.
It should have
And
really.
they 100% should have gave fucking Black Widow that movie in between.
Yeah,
Endgame
it
and
should have
Infinity
definitely
War.
come out earlier than it did.
Yeah.
Which also didn't help
Yeah.
it. So, but again, that was at the beginning of Marvel Studios where Kevin Feige was coming into his own.
Man, he's
and
so
Ike
cool.
Perlmutter
He is
was
so
still.
cool. That's
yeah.
fucking.
He's so
It feels like he's Tom Cruise as the fucking Terminator in this right now. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's talk about something else because the next trailer actually I think comes out first.
Yes, comes out in
which
February.
is Captain America: Brave New World. Which I mean, obviously we've got Thunderbolt Ross in this. This trailer is very, again, espionage. You know, they're taking a bunch of like straight from Brian De Palma fucking films or what, you know.
Dude, straight up Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah,
with
very
Isaiah.
Manchurian Candidate.
Yeah.
I like that they're bringing stuff that was from Falcon and Winter Soldier, or, you know, which I thought that was one of their better ones. You know what I mean? Out of a lot of their series, and I mean, fucking.
Falcon and Winter Soldier still to me is like the exact middle of all MCU television
Okay,
products.
I'll give you that. Yeah, I'll give you that.
I like them. I like the actors.
I like
I
them.
really like the Falcon and Winter Soldier actors. I love it when we almost get a Captain Kirk Spock McCoy thing when it's Cap and those two. You know, it's like we get some good moments, and I really think they're the right actors for the role. I'm not excited about Captain America for whatever the fuck this is, because the Marvel movies have taught me not to be excited. If it's great, that'll
fair.
be awesome. If it's great, that'll be awesome. If it's a pile of shit, it's a pile of shit. And so, like, I'm hoping it isn't.
It just has a lot going for it because I'm excited to see them go back to the leader. I thought, you know, out of that Hulk movie, there was some good stuff in there, and one of the coolest things was that tease of the fucking leader at the end of that.
Yep.
And what's his name? Fucking Buster Scruggs. What the fuck's that guy's name? Who plays the leader?
But
Tim.
fucking Buster Scruggs is all right. You can call him that.
Yeah.
Fucking
Tim Blake Nelson.
oh,
Tim
brother,
Blake
where art
Nelson.
thou?
Yes.
He's a great fucking actor. I think that'll be a lot of
He
fun.
is.
Harrison Ford and the Red Hulk looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, the Red Hulk looks great, but Harrison Ford looks like the check cleared. You know,
Look,
it's like
bro,
fucking.
But dude, they
it's,
gave him the fucking Indiana Jones chest hair on.
Yeah, exactly.
He looks
Red
good.
Hulk need money.
No,
Red Hulk need hits.
somebody recently after this trailer came out talked about Harrison Ford and like summed him up perfectly. Is that he enjoys doing these movies. He just hates doing the press tours.
Yes.
And has always hated doing
guess,
the
but
press tours.
But he seems to be having fun on this one, though.
But the thing
The
is,
ones he's been
man,
doing now.
nobody wants you to play Indiana Jones anymore. Not even you. Just stop it. Like, why are you doing
He
this?
didn't want to
Like,
play Han
what?
Solo, and he did it for 2 more movies.
Hey, but all he's
Yeah.
got to do is voice act for this one from now on. That's all he's got to do from now on this one.
The interesting thing about this trailer is this is the first trailer that I've seen where they have told you there is something else going on, that they have edited it in such a way. And here's what I mean by that. So in this trailer right here, when they're in the room where Ross is talking about his new initiative and Isaiah Bradley was invited into the White House and everything like that, You have Mackie and the other guy who's playing the new Falcon turn their heads away from Isaiah before he stands up to initiate the attack, the Manchurian candidate attack on the president. In the first teaser trailer, both of them are looking straight ahead when he stands up.
So you think we're watching maybe two different multiverse kind of stories going on
Not so
here?
much multiverse. It's a story being told from more than one person's perspective.
Okay.
And they're revisiting it, or there's something being hidden specifically there.
Well, because they do have like this scene where there's a split screen with the president.
Yeah.
Where there's no people.
The cabinet
and then
members,
there
and then
are,
there's
yeah.
no cabinet members. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on in here.
You could tell me there's a three-way with Red Hulk and
no.
Falcon and Captain America.
She-Hulk.
I wouldn't give a shit. I would
this
need to
isn't-
see it. Like
this isn't
it doesn't matter what they're telling us because it comes in Doctor Strange too. Like so it don't fucking matter. Like until we see it, I want to see the goods. I'm sure it looks interesting. The trailer looks interesting. I give you that. But like no, there's no way I can get excited.
Bitch slapping that guy though.
Yeah.
He just fucking open hand smacks that dude.
Yeah.
No, this isn't being said to try to sell you on or anything like that. This is just being said that.
Because you don't have to watch this bitch anyway, fool.
No,
So.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. It
No,
don't
you
matter.
are
No
not.
matter what I think.
Their tickets sold, bro.
No, this looks more like
You're not wrong.
this looks more like Winter Soldier, the movie, in terms of what they're doing with the espionage.
I liked Winter Soldier the movie,
Yeah.
and there were the best episodes of the Falcon Winter Soldier sort of show that they did. What was that called?
Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Like literally, it was called the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
That's what it was.
Yes.
Okay, good. The show was like when they brought in fucking Zemo and shit.
Okay,
like
that's
it was
a
like
good
it really.
thing you brought up because it actually goes back to the last one as a question that I meant to ask. The rumor is that Zemo is a part of the Thunderbolts. He's traditionally been a big part of the Thunderbolts in the comics. Do you think they're hiding him?
Oh, I think they're hiding a lot in the Thunderbolts because, like I said, if that is Sentry, there is no realistic way that group by themselves are doing it. Also, what specifically is Valentina actually using them for to try to retrieve this super powerful person if she knows that that's not a realistic thing for them to do?
Right.
So,
I mean,
there is something else going on, and not just oh, poor James, and not just the fact
we're
that
only
the
halfway
asterisks
through
mean
these
something.
trailers, bro. Oh,
But no, this looks to be on form with Captain America: Winter Soldier.
yeah.
Also, your favorite,
Well, and-
everybody's
yeah,
favorite, everybody's favorite movie is officially given credence in this movie too.
What's that?
The Eternals.
That's true.
Oh,
Big
yay.
part of this movie is supposed to be
Taking place around
taking
the
place
Tiamat.
around
The Tiamat.
Tiamat being turned into adamantium.
Yeah, like that. Those shots right there in the background of the structure, that is
Yeah,
the
you
hand.
see the big hand. So you're going to see
Alright.
the introduction to adamantium. Likely vibranium and adamantium is going to be the suit that we see him in later on,
Yeah.
would be my guess.
Just how he's able to fight Red Hulk. But
So yeah, you know, I don't know. Again, Captain America: Winter Soldier, that is
Yep.
probably one of the best MCU movies.
Also, I'm sorry if we just missed it.
really good.
I had to point it out right here because we just saw it. Ross becoming president. So this is the second movie that Harrison Ford as president gets to punch some guy.
Yeah.
Well, open hand slap him. It doesn't even look like he punched him. He bitch slaps that dude.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
Second movie.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. What's the next one?
Get off of my franchise. Bam. Yeah.
Here
All right,
we go.
here we
Spielberg
go.
Star Wars, James.
Have you seen this, James?
What is this? What are we
This
doing?
is Skeleton Crew. This is the latest Star Wars
Well, he saw the original trailer. This
that
is
starts December the 3rd, I
yeah,
believe.
Yes.
And yes, it's very
Star
Spielberg.
Wars babies, making the dreams come true. So we got Star Wars babies. We got baby little Star Wars, huh?
Yep.
What are we doing with them?
They find a spaceship that has these mysterious coordinates to a treasure or some unknown thing in the universe.
Nice.
And
One-Eyed
they're-
Willie.
Is it? Do you think this will fall in line with like any of the Ewok adventure direct-to-video movies we've seen?
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
So much. So much.
That'd
I
be
hope so.
nice.
There's more than one location in this movie, at least, instead of just being hanging out in the forest the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, things that I do like from it, it does feel very nostalgic. I know they're playing on that, but this could work in the Star Wars universe. You know what I mean? This kind of an idea, I mean, if it could work on fucking Earth, Flight of the Navigator, and Disney's done these things pretty well in the past, this could work. Jude Law's great, so...
Jude Law as a
We don't-
morally ambiguous character.
And who
that's
plays
going with
the
them.
robot?
The voice in this one, I don't recall.
I thought it was like the guy from Where We Are in the Shadows or whatever, isn't it?
And we
we
don't
do.
bring up, Flight of the Navigator enough, so I'm glad we got a shot out here.
Yeah,
like,
bro. With the
it's good to
with the
know.
fake-
Flight of the Navigator.
Was it Paul Rubens or was it fake Paul Rubens?
It was Paul Rubens. No, it was actual Paul Rubens.
No,
it was actual Paul Rubens.
It's actual. That is store quality grade Paul Rubens.
Didn't he
There we go.
have his name not on the credits or something?
Yeah,
like
I
that?
thought he didn't.
But
Yeah.
it's actually him. But I think he didn't have his name credited much for it. So
Yeah, there was an issue with that. Yeah. But he's Paul Rubens before he passed. He did a couple like big Q&As about his life and experience, and he talked about Flight of the Navigator. So you can look it up on YouTube. It's he explains like everything that went down for that. It was interesting stuff. But it's a good film. Like it's actually not bad. Flight of the Navigator is not a bad film.
no, it's a fun little Disney film.
It is.
Yeah.
And the Explorers and the Goonies.
Yeah.
Like this
you
straight up
know.
looks like a
Yeah.
mix between the Goonies and the Explorers.
And the Explorers, yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
And those are two fucking great things. I like peanut butter and
Yeah, the
chocolate
Explorers
too,
and Goonies are fucking
motherfucker.
great.
Let's do it.
Hey, Gen Alpha and Millennials,
Yeah.
come see the shows that we liked in the 80s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then the creatures, though, look great. And just really, it looks
It looks
it's
fun.
like they spent the money on it.
It looks
you
fun.
know?
Unlike
Alright.
a couple of the more recent projects that they've done with the Star Wars name on them.
Yeah. And it doesn't tie to anything. Or
I
it
hope it doesn't.
seemingly doesn't.
I hope
I'm
it
sure
doesn't.
they're going to tie it to something along the way, but it certainly does not look dependent on anything that we've fucking seen so far.
I like the end of the Mandalorian season 3 with like the fucking Mandalorian. What's his name? Mando? What the fuck is his name?
Mando,
Din
Grogu.
Djarin.
Yeah,
Din Djarin.
yeah, sure, whatever. And fucking got his little house, and then the kid's playing in the yard, and he's like hanging out in a hammock. I was like, the end. It's almost like I don't. It's a strong enough ending with those characters that I kind of you want more, but you don't.
Well,
Like I don't.
You want
Yeah.
more, but you could do without it.
and I think that's why they made the
Yeah.
decision that they're not going to do a season 4. They're just doing the movie.
Yeah.
And hopefully they
And
stick
they'll
the
show
landing
up
'cause-
later in the fucking
Yeah, no, they can
other
they can
shit.
use the characters as much as they
That's
want to
fine.
after that, but that they're not doing a season 4. They're doing the movie. So yes, season 3 of The Mandalorian finishes kind of that storyline, and then now we're just going to
Yeah.
other things for those characters, everything like that. So, but this looks fun. Hopefully.
And
it
look,
is-
I mean, it's the Mandalorian Warriors, Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, those are fun shows, and that's a fun movie. Like, you know what I mean? So that's
And a lot of the Star Wars
That's all I
projects
go
that have not necessarily tied into the whole Star Wars lore of the Skywalkers and everything else like that, or everything that's going on,
have been the
minus
better properties.
the Acolyte,
Minus
have
the
been decent. Like just the side projects
Yeah.
have been decent.
I agree. I'm looking forward to it. Again, what is the third? What is the day?
That's a
is it?
Tuesday.
That's a Tuesday. And
So
so,
it comes-
the other one comes out on the 5th.
On the 5th of
Creatures-
Thursday, yeah.
Okay. So on Thursday, we'll
I don't know. The last Star Wars thing we had was a fucking
That's why,
Arc-like-
that's why I
Arc-like
said,
thing,
except for
wasn't
the
it?
Acolyte.
Arc-like.
The Acolyte.
we
Yeah, that thing I think fucking sucked. So, like fucking
we excluded it.
No,
Yoda got to sit down and shut the fuck up
Yeah.
because like it ain't coming back. now. Like,
Yoda
it's,
wasn't lending his voice to that. It's like, no.
Yeah.
So we will be coming up on the
Canceled
3rd
VR.
and on the 5th when our show is. We will be watching this and the next trailer, which is a stark difference.
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be our first foray
You gave it
into.
4.5. You already gave it 4.5. No, it's fine.
We are going to be. We're
There we we
we're
go.
going to be delving into the first of James Gunn's DC universe. This is going to be Creatures Commandos. This is an animated, obviously, but this is officially our entrance into that DC universe that we have. It is Suicide Squad with monsters, basically. Amanda Waller basically says it in this that, hey, the government doesn't allow them to do shit with humans anymore, so they find the workaround. Cool. Again, he did great with Suicide Squad.
And Suicide Squad.
So this is a good place
Trust
to start.
in the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Trust in the gun.
I'm sure they had his brother do all the on-set motion capture for the Weasel.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey, job's a job. Quit being a dick.
I'm not
Let
being
his
a dick.
brother get some work.
I'm not being a dick. I'm just James just made
Listen,
his brother
bro,
do that.
it's either he gives him the job or he's got to take care of him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
come on.
exactly. Keep James Gunn, keep hiring your fucking brother to do your bitch stuff. Like Sam Raimi did it. Everybody's done it.
But
Okay,
look, we've
like
got
it's
some
cool.
great people in this. I mean, everybody's favorite Alan Tudyk
Oh yeah,
is playing Atomic Skull. Is that what it is?
Dr. Phosphorus.
Dr. Phosphorus. That's it. Sorry.
right.
And then you got Frankenstein is being played by David Harbour. So he's going both. He's got DC and Marvel in his pocket.
Oh yeah. And Stranger Things next year. So David Harbour's just the busiest.
Oh yeah, he's got it all. And he was Hellboy for a second.
Yes.
Um,
A very brief second.
So this is going to
Never
be
again.
extremely brutal. There's a scene right there that's very exciting because we know that supposedly everyone who's playing a voice in this will be the live action version if they ever show up.
Yeah.
That was his vision is all the animated characters that they are doing in this universe are all going to be the live action. So we have Clayface. We don't know who's playing him.
That's the interesting thing is that Chodik's involved in this, but if he's not Clayface in this, like what are you even doing?
Yeah. Well,
But then again, in the Harley Quinn series, Chodik was like 3 of the major villains.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
'Cause
But we do have
issues.
a couple other interesting people that are in this as well. That they
Frank
haven't-
Grillo plays Rick Flag.
Yep.
So you got the Punisher doing Rick Flag as well.
And
So
yeah.
Punisher adjacent character basically.
wait, Punisher.
So here's the
the
interesting thing
Punisher.
about that is they're still doing season 2 of Peacemaker.
Yes.
They're still doing season 2 of
Yeah.
Peacemaker. If you go back on Peacemaker, Rick Flag dies in the Suicide Squad.
The junior. This is senior. This is Rick Flag Senior.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
that's-
this
that's
is
their
supposed to be his
Alright.
dad.
That's their justification for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, look, this. I'm excited. Like
Yeah.
I know that I should not be so excited for DC anything based on the record, but again, based on James Gunn's record,
Yep.
I'm fucking
Yeah.
excited for this.
That is literally the only thing that is going for this right now is that it's James Gunn.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say this is gonna be decent, if not great, and I mean, just everything I'm hearing about everything that's coming out of this DCU that he's building, I'm very hopefully optimistic about.
All right.
So we get Spielberg Star Wars and this coming the same time for
We
us.
will be reviewing them both each week,
Yeah.
so
Well,
get ready.
we'll see
for-
what time this releases. This
I'm sure we got
And
time.
I hope both are good.
Yeah,
me
I
too. No,
really
I
do.
do
I
too.
hope like we enjoy watching them.
Yes, it will be a pleasant surprise.
well,
The Last
this
of
year.
Us. Remember the I didn't want to
That's-
watch The
yeah.
Last of Us.
I think
I know.
we're getting season 2 next year, so be ready for that.
I was mad at you guys for making us
real
watch
mad.
The Last
He
of
was.
We
Us,
played
and then
that
it was like
clip
the
a
best
lot.
show of that
clip is
year.
wonderful.
Yeah,
We will play it again.
that would be more of that.
We will play
please.
that
more
clip
of like
in
I
this clip
hate
as we
this.
talk
and
about
then
that
it's
That look on
delicious.
James's face when that when he was
It's a
found out.
video game movie.
The look of betrayal
Hey, that
on
voice
James's
is
face.
copyrighted.
Right,
Be careful.
all right,
there.
yeah. It's a video
Get a
game
letter.
alert. Well, howdy doody.
Oh,
Your catchphrase.
All right, we're good.
I
What we got
don't
next?
sound nothing like that, you son of a
You
bitch.
son of a bitch. All right, so
Okay.
here's a couple of the movies that we may be coming across over this next couple months.
No,
Hold.
no, we're
Hold
not.
on.
No, we're
Hold-
not. You're mistaken.
Hold on. Hold on. All right, we can all agree objectively. The Hobbit as a trilogy was a terrible idea. The third movie was just god awful. I mean,
I never saw the third
good for
movie.
you.
I paid $12 American to see the Decimation of Smog. Smog didn't do shit, and nobody killed Smog, so there was no decimation of Smog whatsoever.
I actually liked the third one best.
Oh God.
But
Oh wow!
most
All right.
video
well,
game-
I didn't see. I
because-
never made it to
because
the
it
third one
just
because I was
said,
so fucking bored.
fuck it. It just said, fuck it. We're just gonna show you cool shit. I'm gonna show you a goddamn.
right.
I'm gonna show you a goddamn Monty Python guy riding on a fucking pig with a giant hammer. I was okay with seeing that. That's what I really wanted to see at that point.
There you
So
go.
we'll
It
go to
was
this.
not there for the storyline anymore. Is what I'm saying.
Since we're putting this up right now, this is what the movies is, James. It's a anime-inspired movie based around the War of the Rohirrim that happened 200 years before where we are with Lord of the Rings and whatnot. Animation style looks akin to the Castlevania series,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
which is a
I
wonderful.
like it. I like this kind of animation. It's fun. I don't think this is going to be great, but I think this will be fun to watch with my kid. And I think that the action scenes and again, the animation is going to look amazing. I don't really care about the story.
I think this will
because
be better
it's
than
pretty cool.
what Amazon's been doing.
With what?
Lord of the Rings, their
Oh,
And
series.
the Amazon
Wow.
Lord of the
I
Rings thing
mean,
sucks, man.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the last.
Yeah, so I mean, I think this is going to be better than that. Peter Jackson, Philip Boya, and all them are involved, or were involved in making sure this took place. So, I think that is helping it a lot. Yes, I understand that they did The Hobbit as well, but that, as we all know, of the history of The Hobbit in films, that was not Peter Jackson's choice at all.
No.
He did not want to
Sure.
have. He didn't want to direct. He didn't want to do anything with
The
Mm.
fucking check still
Yeah.
cleared,
That's
motherfucker.
what I
Your
said.
name's on that
No,
shit.
He was like, I'll get paid
That
3
big
times.
shit
Sure,
sandwich
I'll
has
make
got
a
your
third
goddamn
one.
name all over it.
Yes, I know. But now also what we know about Warner Brothers and all that is
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
really wanted to cut that.
Congratulations.
Beatles
You're pissed on
documentary.
your
I
legacy.
know.
So
You
he
made
needed
Lord
that
of the
third
Rings,
check so he could
which
take
was
that time.
amazing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
well,
you made Lord of the Rings, which was amazing, and then you got the opportunity to do your King Kong, which was really fucking good. You did the fucking silly ass Lovely Bones, whatever, or Lonely Bones, and then it was like, oh, you're gonna go back to the well for money and for
Well, did
Well,
it
it was
you
supposed to be-
just wanted to do it.
no. No.
And
That was-
you did
That's
have
Guillermo
some
del
good
Toro.
ideas here and there,
Guillermo del Toro was
but
supposed to
good
direct The Hobbit.
lord,
That's true.
The Hobbit is just fucking embarrassingly unwatchable.
Yeah.
The, fir- the,
Like,
fir-
it's just
the
like
first
a-
Hobbit. The first Hobbit movie is fine, but it gives
The
it.
first Hobbit movie has a 12-minute dishwashing scene, and it was like, fuck me in the ads.
But it was.
Fuck
No,
me.
no,
Like,
that-
oh my
no,
god.
I'm not arguing against the defects to the movie,
Jesus.
but comparatively, the first Hobbit movie was fine. Was it great? No, but it was fine, and then it progressively got.
Sure.
be
Moving
worse.
pictures happened. It was a talkie. There were words, and it matched up to their mouth.
Yeah, bro.
What
Hey,
an amazing fucking
Fantasia had a
feat.
12-minute scene of mops
Yeah.
that
To music. There was no
didn't
words.
have any words.
There were no words in that thing.
So, and that's one of the
There you go.
greatest things ever.
Fucking
So,
hippos and alligators dancing together.
yeah. In Dumbo, there was elephants on parade.
James just so pissed he's knocking
yeah,
his
he's
mic
just
around.
knocking mics over. So another movie
drunk.
that arguably you will less want to see
Comes
will
out
be the next
same
one.
Day.
That comes out the same day is
Uh,
the final Sony Spider-Verse movie of this year, which is Craven. Which one would you rather watch, James? James, if you had a choice between watching
If
Craven-
Craven puts a shotgun in his mouth and blows his fucking brains out in the first act of this film,
James,
yeah,
James,
I would watch
James,
this film.
James,
Like, if that's
James,
not the story,
James,
then there's no reason to tell it.
James, we watched Madam Web earlier this year,
Yep.
and we
watched-
didn't watch
we watched Mobius.
Venom,
We watched Mobius this year.
Morbius.
This year, whatever.
What do you think?
He turned into
How do you
bad.
think this is going to end out?
They took
Do you
a whole-
think Michael Keaton's going to show
Oh,
up? Think Venom's going to show up at the
No.
end?
They took a whole extra year to put this movie out.
No. Here's my question. Out of all the Sony Spider-Verse stuff, who shows up at the end of this movie?
Oh, at this point, it's just Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. Like, it's like whatever, like,
Craven
like,
says
whoever
Beetlejuice,
can get a
Beetlejuice,
paycheck
Beetlejuice
out
at
of
the end.
this.
Please let that happen. I'll give it a 5 out of 5. If they fucking do that at the end of this movie, I'll give it a tie in the Beetlejuice universe to this. I will just be like,
Okay.
you guys
Yeah.
have the best cocaine, and I want to come and party with you. Please, 5 out of 5.
Who's going to show up in this? They're going to show the scene from the end of No Way Home where Spider-Man's swinging through New York City at Christmas. And Craven's going to see it on TV.
Huh.
Look, I
Yeah.
watched Venom, the new Venom, and they put the kibosh on that fucking symbiote being in the MCU so fast. It is like one of the first scenes in the movie is like, hey, you remember that end scene where we're like, Venom's in the MCU? Yeah, well, fuck you.
Right.
That didn't happen. None of that happened. We're changing all that right now. Real
All
fast.
right.
And that movie's a big pile of dog shit too, so
Yeah.
not as bad as Madam Web.
Probably
My
my
thing
thing is, I don't mind.
But
I don't mind somebody coming in with a new story and denying the past or pulling from the past. I think it's stronger if you pull from the past and you make it all work.
look,
But I don't mind somebody denying the past so long as they have a good story to tell. But if it's still dog shit, then it's
I
like, why
think-
did you?
okay, here's my Suicide Squad pitch for this universe. If you started out by making Venom the good guy, and now you're making Morbius the good guy, which he's kind of played both. Now you're making Craven the good guy. Okay? Continue to do that. Give me the Sinister Six, but as good guys in this universe, and then give me a bad Spider-Man, like you did in
Evil
Madam Web,
Spider-Man.
but save that for Spider-Man's the badass, usually whoops the Sinister Six ass, but now the Sinister Six is the good guys, so we want them to win. Give me that reversal. That's an interesting thing for you to do with your fucking franchise where you own all these characters, Sony. But instead, what you've went and done is you've tried to make all these characters be good guys. There be no Spider-Man for there to even be anything. You could have done that with Venom from the get-go, that he, instead of coming from whatever, like he's on this Spider-Man type character that you never show the face of, and then he gets rid of him and he crawls off and goes to Eddie Brock. And you don't even need to talk about that again until you get to the Sinister Six.
So basically what you're describing, and I'm all good with it, is an episode of the Batman in the animated series where all the villains are playing cards and talking about Batman.
Pretty
Great one, by
Pretty
the way.
much. But they're not good guys. They're still the bad guys.
Episode.
I'm saying you
But-
play the multiverse thing.
No,
Because the
it's
MCU is
fine.
doing the multiverse thing. So you say, yes, we're a multiverse, but we're this different. Cool.
But no, I'm just building upon yours. It's like Spider-Man doesn't have to be a bad guy because you're showing this from their perspective. So from their perspective, Spider-Man is a bad guy, but it doesn't necessarily have to change the character at all.
I agree, but I think you go the whole step further where you just make Spider-Man the bad guy. And it doesn't have to be Peter Parker Spider-Man either. It could be Ben Reilly. Why not? Do it as the Spider-Man clone. You know? Whatever. I mean, I don't know.
I want to
If
make
you're
it very
hiring
clear that
Sony, I would be happy to
that also
write.
requires Sony
Yep.
to be competent in what they're doing.
Yeah, but I
That's
can
right.
I'm about to say, what the ideas and concepts you both are pitching out here is more insight than the 4 fucking movies they
no,
released
it
to
is.
the
Hey,
fucking public.
is.
Well, I'm
is.
not denying it. I
is.
guarantee I could write any of these movies better than
What is it? Madam
Anybody
Web,
in this
Morbius, and
Craven.
I haven't even
Craven
seen
now.
Craven and the Venom
And Venom.
trilogy.
Yeah.
The Venom trilogy. Yep.
Craven. Hey, I'm Spider-Man super fan #1. He's my favorite comic book character. Craven the Hunter sucks. The only good thing they ever did with him was his death. And even the guy who wrote that, which is a really good miniseries in the middle of it's either Web of Spider-Man or Spectacular Spider-Man, where what was the Craven the Hunter death one called?
Craven's Last
They always had fun
Hunt.
titles and
Craven's Last Hunt.
Craven's Last Hunt.
Craven's Last Hunt.
Raven's Last Hunt. They always had great. Spider-Man always had great like little tagline titles for his multiple issue arcs, and yeah, that was the best thing Kraven ever did was fucking kill himself. Why? Because at least then it was some meaning other than I hunt man.
I have a
I
feeling.
hunt the most dangerous game.
I have a feeling that Craven is gonna shoot himself, but it ain't Aaron Taylor Johnson. It's his fucking dad, Russell Crowe. Does fucking kill himself. I will give you that might happen in this movie.
Aaron Taylor Johnson's career has been the most interesting things because it seems like they just keep trying him as different comic book characters, and they don't know specifically what to do.
And he
with
keeps
him.
trying to look more and more like one
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, because he's played
look at him.
Kick-Ass.
Did you see him do
Quicksilver,
the Captain America
Craven.
pull a fucking helicopter down just then?
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it was just he grabbed it. Anyways.
Oh, yeah, you
Look
go
at
do
there,
that
he was
move.
the
Yeah,
Deep
no, that
from
move I saw.
fucking.
Yeah.
Looks like the Deep from the Boys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this movie is going to be interesting. I do like the way
Rhino's
that,
in it.
I do like the Rhino. That fucking Rhino looks legit. All right, and him in that Kraven costume looks legit.
Yeah.
This may be, but again, we got Madam Web.
This also looks completely different from when they originally were showing the trailers last year when it was supposed to come out. So
yeah,
they
we'll
did a lot of work on it.
Villains aren't born; they're made. Whatever.
But they did a lot of work on it. But the history of
even a
Sony
villain.
doing a lot of work on these movies hasn't been good either.
All right,
Yeah,
well, let's move
so-
on. What the fuck is next? What do we have next?
That was
Okay.
it.
So let's talk a little bit about this. Have you heard about the Absolute Universe in DC Comics, James?
No, was this after? I guess
This
not.
is recent.
No.
These three characters are the only ones that come out in this universe. First it was Batman, then it was Wonder Woman, then it was Superman. Were actually Batman the second issue has come out. This is a. Have you heard of this yet?
I'm very excited.
I've
I
heard
have a
of it, but I haven't
question.
looked into it.
Are
I don't
those
know.
her? Are those her tits?
They're very covered up right now. Here's the thing.
Are
though.
they like 6 to 12 inches away from her face?
They are, and they are B cups at best. So,
There's no way. That's like an E cup. Look at that shit. Like
No.
it's going.
What are you?
Batman
what are you
has an
looking
E
at?
cup right now. You're looking at Batman. Listen,
That is her shoulder that it
yeah,
says on
that's
the
your
right
shoulder.
side.
What are you looking at? See the W
Oh,
in
okay.
silver?
Oh, it
Those
is
are
her
Bs.
shoulder. That's why.
At
Yes,
best.
that's why we asked this question.
Okay.
Why we asked this question.
So, the Absolute Universe is a new alternate universe in DC Comics where Darkseid has had a significant influence on just this universe. So the superheroes in this universe, at least the three we've seen so far, have very different origins. They've been nerfed in a way. Okay, so only Batman's father was killed. His mother was not killed. Martha's still alive. But they were not rich. Dad was a teacher, mom was a social worker, and he's not rich. He's got safe houses throughout the city. He's, if you see his big bat symbol on the front right there, is actually a fucking axe. He can take that off of his chest. It also works as kind of his bulletproof whatever. He's much bigger in this as well. Wonder Woman, stillborn on Themyscira. For some reason, the Amazons were wiped out. She was sent to one of her villains, Circe, in hell and raised in hell. She actually rides a fucking like undead Pegasus into war. Superman showed up not as a baby, but as a maybe preteen.
Emo teenager.
And because he's not been on Earth since a baby, he's got to like solar recharge, almost like he's a fucking iPhone that's got to be plugged in, and his powers kind of deplete pretty quickly. The S on his chest does not stand for hope or anything. It was actually shows that Krypton was a very caste system, that he was like a worker drone within this system where the scientists were like a whole different whatever. And so he's fighting for the plight of the little man. One of his first things is these miners that
The
are
fucking Starbelly snitch.
Bro,
He is Goku from Dragon Ball.
it's a very different take on so much.
It's hilarious.
They're leaving a lot to it. Alfred is not his butler, obviously, but he's some sort of a like secret agent who's following Batman, but also kind of helping let him do his thing, you know what I mean? And kind of analyzing him and telling the story about him. It's some of the most interesting takes on some of these characters that we've just had this storyline that we've done forever. Wonder Woman also has a different lasso. It's not a lasso of truth. It's I can't remember. Maybe Carissa can look up
Just a
about
lasso.
her lasso and tell me. So it's red.
And that's her shoulder. Those aren't
That is
giant
That's the
breasts.
shoulder.
That is an uncovered shoulder. It's tatted.
Yeah.
Okay, because from my angle, it
No,
kinda
I
just
know. It looks like a giant
breasts.
areola. I know. I see on that. Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
She does have.
couple of
She does
giant.
have almost the Final Fantasy sword too,
Which,
is
like,
awesome.
like if
Yeah.
that's the case, she doesn't even need the lasso of truth. Just show up. Everybody will be cool.
So I find it hilarious with Superman because, like I said, so Dragon Ball borrowed from the Superman lore with Goku showing up on the planet in this capsule, but his original intention was to take over the planet. So his race of the Saiyans, who was working for Frieza and all this came out later, but could basically turn it into a resource producing thing for themselves. That was their main mission throughout all of the universe. And that now Superman is of that variety, that Goku is basically just kind of a soldier that was sent out and has the same limitations in terms of power, that he's only can be powerful for so long, then he has to recoup or whatever.
They do,
like that.
but they don't have him being a conqueror in this. He is way more man of the people, kind of going back to.
Well, no, Goku
Originals.
Goku wasn't either, because Goku basically in the story had amnesia, but for what his actual purpose was, and
Fair.
became a savior of the planet. So, like I said, it's just borrowing back from what already it borrowed from. So it's now creating this full circle of things, and it's like that's hilarious.
And he's got a real cool hair.
The two fictional characters that everybody puts up against each other, being Goku and Superman, and who would win. Now we're just borrowing from each other in an endless cycle.
And Superman, no cape, but also has the evolved power that he had in the New 52, where he could do the kind of supernova blast thing in this as well.
You mean a spirit bomb?
Yeah. Okay, fair. He also is fighting against. Shoot. What is the? Peacemakers. So
Okay.
there is basically a peacemaker corps in this universe that he fights against. That is like the government agency. It's a whole bunch of peacemakers.
All right.
Helmets and all. Look, it's again, it's just, you say it too. I really love some of these multiverse stories, and especially in DC. Some of the multiverse stories are the best. Superman,
really interesting.
Superman Red
Like,
Sun. You know, Batman, the old fuck Batman. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Return of the Dark
Yeah.
Knight, and even honestly, Long Halloween kind of is Elseworlds.
They
I
are.
know we don't look at it that way, but it is.
It is.
And so like there's so many good ones. There's so many good ones that like if you have a good writer, a concept is one thing, but you got to be able to deliver the goods.
Mhm.
Like everybody's got a good idea for a concept, and I'm a horror fan. I love horror films, and when you love horror films, you find out really quick. Everyone has a great concept. Two people have a good script. So like everybody's got a fun fucking concept for a horror movie, and then you're there watching Long
I have a
Legs,
hand up over there.
and you're like, God
Yes.
damn it! Like if you can't write a good script, like you,
Does it say what it
Yeah.
does?
The Nemesis Lasso is what
It's
it's
called the Nemesis Lasso. Which
Uh,
I will do a little aside here. This is interesting because they do have a Wonder Woman video game coming out,
Yes.
which is made by the same people that did Lord of the Rings Shadow of Mordor, which introduced what's called the Nemesis system, which the Nemesis system in video games is actually a really cool thing that hasn't been used since then. It is kind of a system where if in Lord of the Rings game, if you were fighting against an orc and it was just some no-name fucking orc, if it killed you, it got a name and it became a boss in the lineup.
Nice.
And then it was tougher and it would remember the fight that you had. And sometimes you would have ones where you seemingly killed, but then in the end, they made it through and all of a sudden they show up to kind of try to challenge you again all of a sudden out of nowhere. It was a very cool system, and it's going to be in the new Wonder Woman game. Also, if you get into Six Flags, they have a really cool ride there too that I've not ridden. What do you got over there? Are you fine? Okay.
DC's biggest fault still is that for all these alternate universe stories that are wonderful, they then lean into them so heavily to reincorporate them into the actual universe that it then dilutes the product.
Mm-hmm.
It's like yes, you have
fucking after what was his name? Was it Jeff Johns who fucking brought in Watchmen into the fucking Justice League? Like those sort of concepts. Like if I am nothing needs to be off the table. Everything's on the table if you can fucking make it work. And the problem is most you motherfuckers can't make it work. And I can't believe we're not talking about what could be Wonder Woman's shoulders or her giant tits. I'm not sure which they are, but she doesn't need a lasso if those aren't her shoulders.
Wait. Let's see. Okay, look at that's a boob, and that's a boob.
That's all I see
This
is boobs.
is not a boob.
That's a shoulder.
This is not a boob, but
That's
it does look like a nipple with an areola.
That's a
So
shoulder.
I'll give it to
I'm
you.
telling you, no. I'm right. I stand by it. That's all
And
tits.
that's a cloud sword.
It could be Liefeld.
So
It could
if we
be
take
Liefeld
the
drawing.
artist's
Superman and
depth
Batman would be
perception
the
of
bigger
things.
tits.
Look at
So real quick,
Batman.
artist,
Batman has bigger tits.
as he should.
Not bigger than a Liefeld drawing, but still
No.
bigger than Wonder Woman.
Yeah, exactly.
That the Nemesis Lasso is red and has the unique ability to dull pain.
Dull's pain.
It
Okay.
dulls pain.
Ooh.
Okay, the Nemesis Lasso is red and dulls pain,
So
apparently.
you can hurt people.
That's all we
more.
know so far. We do have
That's kind of hot.
this, yeah, you know what I mean?
Leaning
So-
more into
I have not heard anything
They
bad
leaning
yet.
more to the S&M than they did in the original
Take it.
comics of Wonder Woman.
Take it.
Yeah.
It says it dulls out.
Roll the dice here.
Oh, it doles out, not dulls pain. It
so it
doles.
increases.
It
No,
doles
that's
it out.
doles.
Yeah, no,
Doles.
that's what I heard. That's what I heard,
Yeah.
motherfucker. I stand by my statement.
All right.
Now, like I said,
Well-
she's more S&M now than she was when she was originally conceived for the
Yeah.
comic.
It is Thursday, and by next Wednesday, you will have the next issue of this. Apparently, there will be more They're doing the Trinity
All right.
first, and I think they do have more characters coming out in this. I mean,
And by next year, you're
One
gonna
of the
have all
big
the characters in
problems
the new
with-
video game by WB.
yes, one of the big problems with Justice League in general is they're gods. It's really hard to
Yeah.
write down to earth. Really, a lot of DC characters. You know what I mean? Because they've just even the Question has been in space fighting fucking Darkseid at this point. So you have to come back every once in a while, especially with Superman and someone like that, and Batman for that matter. You have a human that you have made being able to dodge a undodgeable god's fucking eye beam. At what point now do you take it back? The most powerful character of these three right now is Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's the most powerful of these three. They've really kind of told, kind of took Superman down a notch, which is great. And you can have him mature, especially if you have him showing up as a teenager. And we know as comic books, his body is battery cells, and so the longer he's here, it'll blah blah blah, and that's what But you could tell that story. You could give it that time. You could have him learn the things over time.
I think that every one of the characters have such potential for some great stories and great writing that we've already seen, and that can already be there. When we talk about DC versus Marvel, DC has always been gods among men, and the reason why Batman is so powerful, he's the man among gods, and so therefore he must always win, so that the reader has that strong connection to the characters. As where Marvel is always flawed human is given great power. And for most of us, watching the flawed human is given great power is far more interesting than watching gods among men.
Right.
And so it's always however,
Which is why
there's
Batman's
so many
always more interesting, because he is the one where among gods he proves that man is better, which is why the best Superman stories are
until we
his
get
superhumanity.
Man, then we get All-Star Superman, and we see Superman's first year in Metropolis and being scared and making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at home because he doesn't know how to fucking cook, and trying to fight the urge from flying from Metropolis home to have his mom fucking cook his meals and do his laundry, which is something that is very universal. That is something that is brings our gods down to the flawed man level. Like, the great stories are already there, and there's even I still believe there's great stories with these characters still yet to come. It's can you write it? Can you dramatize it to a point that we are actually captivated by it? And some people can, and some people can't.
We're gonna
And
find out next year.
goddamn,
We'll
there you go.
find out.
We're gonna find out next year.
And I would definitely say we're going to find out in this series. I highly recommend checking this one out. So there it is. That's what we have coming up. So next week
definite.
we need to figure out something to do. Is that correct?
Next week is our best and worst of.
Next week is our best and worst stuff.
Even though we still have Craven to come out, we're just still calling this year. We're still calling this year next week.
Yeah. We'll
Because we don't have time in December to do it this year.
Because the following week we will be.
The following week is Thanksgiving, which we're off.
We're
Yep.
off. Okay.
We're off on Thanksgiving, and then the following week is the first week of December, and that's when we have
we
the
got
back-to-back of
back-to-back.
Skeleton Crew and Creature Commandos.
All right. Well, we will be back next week with our best and worst of so far 2024.
Spoiler alert: Secret Invasion is still the worst thing to come out this year.
It is, but there wasn't.
Even though it came out last year, for TV. Even though it came out last year, it's still the worst thing.
Yeah.
We got Deadpool, Wolverine. I'm happy.
We got a few good.
We got movie side, we got TV side. So no, there's a
Watch-
lot more positive this year.
You
than there
need
was
to
in the
watch
past.
at least The Penguin by next week, James.
All right, I will. I will
I
finish.
think-
Here's what I'm promising.
Okay.
I'm promising on the air. I'm promising I will finish Agatha all along, and I will watch at least 2 episodes of The Penguin.
Okay.
All right.
I think that if you at least watch 2 episodes of The Penguin before you don't have enough time to finish the whole thing of The Penguin.
Two different
You
hardcore
will
geeks that I highly
finish it.
respect were like, if you watch one episode of The Penguin, you're gonna get hooked because it's that good. And so
I will say 2. I think it will take you 2. So
okay, I'll watch a couple, and we'll. I want good content. I had no idea that The Last of Us was going to be that good before I watched it. It's like I want good content, like any human.
Fair.
So,
fair.
but we've been recording this for 2 hours, and I got to piss,
All
so
right.
we got to wrap
Let's
this
do
up.
it.
You do that.
Listen, guys, we want to thank you for joining us. Make sure that you like and subscribe. We will be back next week for our wrap up of the year. I am Smoking Phat J.
I am Matt Christy.
I'm gonna go piss.
Yay! Potpourri episode, everyone. See you next week.
Something for everyone.
Bye.